psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakken here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis Trolley Tours are, but now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 8, then Saturday, sunshine with a high of 24. Go Dog Go, Vape is going on now at Children's Theater Company. Get tickets today for this joyful bilingual musical where delightful dogs drive, swim, play baseball, and race to the big dog party. Get your tickets at childrenstheater.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And it is Casual Friday here in GhostBox Radio, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. Thank you for allowing us to ease you into the weekend. And, you know, right away, we're starting with a question, which I think is important. If someone's going to ask this, is this a pre-record? No, it is not. Now, granted, someday this may be a pre-record. We might do this as a replay. So that's gonna set off a few people, I'm sure. But tonight, February 6th, it is not a pre-record. So welcome to everybody on the show tonight as we ease into the weekend. Meanwhile, in Eden Prairie, we have Adam. And Adam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, but you've kind of like set the bar way too high right off the bat, saying like this one could eventually be a pre-record, which means we've got to be pretty good tonight for a Casual Friday to make it as a replay.
Let me explain why I think we have a good chance of that. First of all, the question of the week, what is your favorite part of a paranormal investigation? Any part, what do you love? That has had an astounding number of people replying. And we'll get to that in the second segment. But it truly has been amazing, a number of people that replied to this tonight. And, you know, I think it's a good middle of the road question. We've had some questions that are really thought provoking and nobody wants to answer that. And then we have like
a Zeppelin.
They really do. And then we have what's your favorite color? And there's thousands of people like responding. So I think this is a good middling question of the week. And I'm happy. I think we're going to have some fun with that tonight. And of course, if you want to put your answer into the comments as well, you're more than welcome to. We'll read those as well. But boy, I got another question of the week, which I consider to be a little bit more important than this one tonight, Adam. And I want to give this out to the people listening and watching tonight. What do you think? After the show, I'm thinking of going to Wingstop and getting wings. Should I do that? Because I didn't make chicken wings. I didn't think I wanted them. And then I realized I do want chicken wings. I don't have any to make. And the Wingstop in Rogers right next to me or coming up the road from me is open till 1 a.m. So I'm kind of thinking, maybe some, and that's the perfect thing to eat at midnight is chicken wings. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with that? So I don't know.
Nothing, you little mogwai.
Right.
Nothing could go wrong with eating those after midnight.
No. And it's just, and as one gets older, you start to find changes when you eat like foods like that later in the evening. But my desire to eat and just put food in my mouth kind of takes over that. And Jeremy York in the comments says, might as well, once you get the craving, you got to satisfy it. Your wife says, go get him, Greg. But she's never really been in my side anyway. So I consider that more of she's hoping that something bad happens to me, quite frankly.
No, because we just had a Wingstop open up next to our place, like literally 3 blocks away. We have yet to have it yet, but she has been wanting Wingstop so bad. So no, she is actually in your corner this time.
That's good. And I'm sorry, I'm looking around because I hear Puff. I mean, yeah, why not, right? So she's out there somewhere meowing like crazy. And then Danielle also says, just have some Tums by your bed. I do that, actually. I normally take some before I go to bed, just because I always eat late. And I'm sure you do too, Adam, when you, especially on nights like tonight or when you're back at home and you get done with a show and you're done with your day at AM 950. I mean, we're night owls. You have to.
However, Wingstop is healthier than what I usually have.
Oh, what do you
like
have?
Donuts, coffee, donuts.
Well,
cake, cookies.
Come on. Look, you know the score. You know the bad stuff that I'm all about over here. So
your calories are just liquefied. Yeah, that's why I drink Diet Dr. Pepper so I can have real cake.
Yeah. I was gonna say. All calories are calories at the end of the day. I think they certainly don't do anything good for me. But that's kind of how it rolls. I do want to say thank you to Jeremy. Tonight I was a guest on his Facebook Live 13th Dimension on the Things Network. We talked about ghost stories and beyond. We talked about my spirit box sessions, and it was a lot of fun. So Jeremy, since you're here, I wanted to thank you for inviting me on. It was a lot of fun. Jeremy was talking about, he's out in Indiana. He's talking about probably not this year, but maybe next year coming up to visit us. And, go to Billy's, and maybe we can get him into Pillsbury Club and all that good stuff. So, something to look forward to.
Word of the wise, Jeremy, from a Hoosier who moved up here, shoot for anywhere between like beginning of May to end of October. That's when the weather is beautiful.
He was talking about end of October. Jeremy also says we had a great episode. Oh, I don't think we should say that. No, I'm just kidding. It was really good. It was really good. It was a lot of fun, and it's nice. And I don't do this very often anymore. I don't go on other shows because I don't have time and stuff. But people like Jeremy always make the time to do so. It's a lot of fun. Kimberly in the comments here, I saw that she had answered question of the week when we get to that in the second segment. And then Jeremy also says, oh, and by the way, we had 3 inches of snow this morning. Well, our time is coming. Don't worry. Our time is coming. It's February. This is early February. We're screwed.
Yeah. We'll be, we're going to get that foot of snow blizzard in April. I was just talking about that with my father-in-law today. And the lack of snow we've had, that means we are going to get dumped on in April.
And anyone who says that's not true is a fool. Honestly, because it's going to be exactly that. It's going to be, and it's not snow at that point. It's cement that falls on us.
It is tons and tons of cement just falling, and it looks beautiful when you're standing inside
Yeah.
drinking a nice cup of cocoa or whatever. But as soon as you step outside, you realize the hell that you are now in. And no matter how many batteries you have for that snowblower, this is going to be an all-day job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, and I was talking, I think it was actually Rob Guttrow, last a couple weeks back, because out in the East Coast they had a great deal of snow, and he's like, yeah, I got to go out and shovel, and I'm like, just be careful. And I don't know if anyone's ever told him that before, because he's just like, why? I mean, why are you telling me to be careful? I'm like, because that's like the number one killer of people, the heart, getting a heart attack when they're like trying to lift heavy snow and shoveling it into stuff, especially here in Minnesota when we get that March and April snow that is truly cement, and people just overexert themselves, and which is something,
Shoveling's-
it's something I've never been accused of, by the way.
yeah, I will tell you, and you need, the older you get, that I have figured out since owning a home, you almost have to do some yoga stretches at my age before you go out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise you're feeling it for days.
Or call someone else to do it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just-
Unfortunately, the neighbor kid went to college, and we don't have anybody around who's young enough and strapping enough to do it, who ain't going to hurt themselves. So that's why I have 2 snow blowers.
I have I have like one that's like a tank, and I haven't started it in like 6 years, so I'm guessing that's probably not going to work. And the guy who comes out and does our driveway and stuff, he's great. And it's actually pretty reasonably priced, all things considered, but he started to use the plow, and it's like pushing it into my yard and stuff. It's like suddenly I have like a extra area to park a car because he's pushed it that far back, and I was like, well, I guess there goes the underground sprinkler system, whatever, right? It's all fine.
You'll get it back in June.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because that's easy stuff to fix, right? It's just whatever. But who am I kidding? I haven't used it, and the problem is if I use the sprinkler system, my grass will grow, and then I have to have someone come out and mow it more, because I don't mow it either. It all comes from my bad back. I don't want to pay for this stuff, and I'm fine with something that you're driving down the street, and you could see my house, and it looks like there's something green in the yard. That's good enough for me. It doesn't have to be lush. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to be green. It could be green weeds, but from afar, give it a look of green. Like, that's why my neighbors, one neighbor right next door to me, and he's been here before I have been. He hates me. He truly hates me. I'm pointing because his house is right here, and he doesn't. He has everything absolutely perfect, and it's like, our house isn't bad. Okay, it's not like the lawn just doesn't. I don't put all the chemicals into my lawn, so a few dandelions might come up. It's okay. Relax. You're not going to die because of this. Okay, so just don't worry about it. It's just amazing, though. Just amazing how people get so bent out of shape over that.
You know what I want? I want to save up enough money, and I want to replace my entire yard with AstroTurf.
Yeah, no, I think you're
just
on
like the Brady's had it, and I'll be out there like Greg Brady mowing the AstroTurf.
Yeah,
just like he did. But the best part about it is I have 3 dogs, and when that AstroTurf freezes, watching them run in the backyard would be hilarious.
Yeah, that seems like you're on. You seem to know. You're a man who knows what he wants, is what I know.
And I want to submit those videos to America's Funniest Home Videos, win that $10,000.
Is that still going?
Yes, that is still going. It's hosted now by Carlton, the Carlton dance.
Oh, okay. I like him.
Alfonso, I don't remember his last name. Yes, thank you.
So before we get to break, I have to also say, because we haven't talked or anything since then, we had Ghost Stories and Beyond, which was the reason why I was on Jeremy's show tonight to talk about it. We had it just last Wednesday, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, it was emotional because we talked about pets in the afterlife. We had a great crowd there. We got a lot of people sharing very intimate stories about not only their pet passing, but their pet coming back, and visiting them and stuff. And some went into areas I wasn't expecting, but it was really quite something. And I love that. I love that conversation. I really do.
So that one had more feels than you and Char were expecting when you went into it on Wednesday?
I knew that there were going to be emotions about it, so I'm not surprised. But I was actually more relieved because I was happy that people were able to open up about it, that they felt it was a safe place, that even if they're amongst strangers, that they could talk about their animals and know that no one's going to judge them for it, and when someone said that their dog had passed and tried to explain it, and she breaks down, it's like, how long have you had, how long ago has it been since your dog passed? And she's just like 20 years. That's to me, that's the testament of what these animals do for us. To have all that time. I think about Davy quite a bit. I think about obviously Linus. I think about all mine, and you think about yours.
Yeah.
We don't move away from it, I don't think.
No, they do carve out a special spot in our hearts. There are some people who look at them as, guardian angels. There are some who look at them as their children. There are some who look at them as, their buddy. And, as long, if you're loving your animal is going to give you that same love back, and it creates one hell of a bond. It really does.
I'm going to share one story real quick. I'm going to leave the names out because I didn't ask permission to share it. So, but somebody who I really adore, she was talking about that she had a small orange kitten. Then she named him, and she was just really excited about this kitten. And she got allergic to this little kitten, so she couldn't keep it, and she picked who she wanted to give it to, give this little guy to, and she did. And she would like keep up about him and stuff. And then one day was told that he died because, and the new owner said they didn't want to take him to a vet on a Sunday. And she obviously very upset, which who wouldn't be? She then felt super guilty because she was the one who gave him away.
Mm-hmm.
But she started to find his toys and stuff in her house, in areas that they weren't previously, like by the washing machine and stuff like that. And she asked to the group, do you think that he's trying to tell me something? And I think everyone was like, I think he's trying to tell you that he knows that you're feeling guilty about this, and this isn't your fault. This has nothing to do with your decision. That was them, not you. And I actually think that there is some sort of weirdness going on here where, because who the hell is going to tell someone? The reason why we didn't bring it in is because we didn't want to do a vet visit on a Sunday. Who's actually going to say that on the phone? I think there was something going on that made them say it, like this little kitten, whatever, or someone else spirit made them say it so that she was aware what was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's theory, but it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just like there, especially if you're in the metro, there's a vet somewhere nearby that's going to be open on a Sunday.
My guess is I don't think it's a matter of visiting the vet on that there was a vet open. I don't think that these people wanted to pay the Sunday fees. You know what I mean? Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is. If you're gonna take the animal in, you take all the responsibilities.
Well, that's just it, right? Don't take any animal unless you are willing to have them as part of your family.
Exactly.
When we get back, let's go through question of the week. And this week's question is, what is your favorite part of a paranormal investigation? Any part. What do you love? And from there, we'll go through. There's a lot of answers. It's probably going to take us the rest of the show, but it's important. I think it's very important. Plus, I want to invite everybody who is watching or listening to let us know. You can put it in the comments. You can also call in 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Folks, don't go anywhere. You're watching GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Mavericks has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had, made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Mavericks Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refinedivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakken here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are. But now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information. Greg Bakken here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And it is Casual Friday, and thank you very much for joining us and taking the time to ease into the weekend with us. Thank you very much. We are going to be doing Question of the Week here in a second, but before we do that, I want to quickly remind people that on February 12th, which is this coming Thursday, you can sit in a dark basement with Char Savoy and myself as we talk to spirits, and we want you to talk to spirits too. We're doing a paranormal investigation of the basement of Divine Lights. That is happening this Thursday, February 12th. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. It is a lot of fun. And what I'm going to ask you to do, go over to charvinity.com, go to upcoming events and classes. Just today, Char has updated this interface. It is so easy to read and so easy to sign up for stuff. And while you're there, you can look at some of the other classes and stuff that she is offering, such as why manifestation works for some people and not others, the Charvinity Fair coming up, scrying class, Fair Destiny swap class, and then, of course, starting on the 3rd, and we'll be talking about this more as we're getting closer to it, Paranormal Dimensions and the Supernatural. That's the class that Char and I both teach starting March 3rd. It goes over 6 classes. So you definitely, if you're interested in that, please sign up for that. We'd love to have you there. But the paranormal investigation is this Thursday, it's not March yet, February 12th. It's going to be a lot of fun. And please make sure you come out and get there. A question of the week that we want to talk about here is, let's see here, is what is your favorite part of a paranormal investigation? Any part? What do you love? Before we get to that, and I think there might be an answer here, we have Johnny on the line. Johnny, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening. I'm doing great.
Now, I just want to make sure it's Johnny Vortex, right?
You got it.
Oh my gosh, Johnny Vortex. We haven't even announced it yet that you are going to be our guest speaker for Ghost Stories and Beyond for March 4th, which is going to be a lot of fun. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, I'm so excited for March 4th. That is going to be an absolutely great time.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Do you have a favorite part of a paranormal investigation?
Absolutely. And there's so many parts we think of, the investigation, the reveal, but I go for the smaller moments. My favorite part of an investigation is finding a new piece of information.
Sure.
Something that people didn't know before, something that can be corroborated with a historical piece that people haven't looked at before. Just opening up and finding a new piece of the puzzle of a location. That's my favorite part.
And the thing about that, because I agree completely, is that I think what sometimes people go in there for validation, of stuff that they know. They want to know if what the spirit is saying matches what we know about that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you get that glimmer of something that you didn't know about, and that they are that they're telling us about, and you're paying attention to it. And that's the main thing, right, Johnny, is that you're paying attention, that you're not like, oh, that's not what I know, so we're going to discard it. You're paying attention.
Absolutely.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely. That counts to me as a piece of evidence, right?
Yes.
We come into these things with pre-knowledge, pre-bias, and especially when it's a popular location, quite a history and track record of people who may be there. There's a story everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's a really piece of compelling evidence when you can learn something new and then corroborate it with a history book or with a local newspaper. That's really compelling.
That is great. Not to put you on the spot, do you have an example of something like that happened to you? I put you on the spot.
Gosh.
You know what? Here's the deal. How about this, Johnny? You have a month to think about it.
So yes, I do. I actually do.
You have a month to think about it. And people need to come out to Billy's in Anoka on March 4th. And so I've been telling people, and I want to make sure I get this right, Johnny, when we have you out there to talk, you're going to talk to us about the equipment that you make. How and am I getting too far by saying how you make it? I don't want to give the impression that you're giving away any trade secrets or anything, but you seem to be a pretty open sort of person that you really like to allow people inside, so to speak.
I am 100% an open book with my gear. Everything, you can take it all apart. I've got examples when we were at shows and stuff of what things look like inside. And I love talking about what I do, how I do it, all the different individual pieces. I think with this gear, there's so many shenanigans and so much mystery and fake stuff.
Yeah.
That it's really, really important that everyone knows exactly how these things work and what they're doing.
That's great.
If for no other reason than, of course, trust the gear, but to be able to root out false positives, false negatives, and troubleshoot things on the fly.
Is
so
there
that
going to
transparency is incredibly important.
It is, and I've had a couple people ask me if you are going to have anything for sale when you come out on March 4th, and I hesitant about that because I don't want to have to lug a ton of stuff downstairs. We never know how many people we're going to get, but are you going to allow people the opportunity, even if it's just like taking orders or something, for people to pick up anything if they like what some of the stuff that you're going to show on March 4th?
Absolutely. I didn't think it was that kind of event. I wasn't planning on bringing anything. I don't want to be that guy, talking my wares. But if it's welcome, I would love to bring everything I have ready to go. I got a lot of research and development and middle of cycle things, but yeah, I'd love to bring some VIPs, bring some of the battery packs, and
Yes, please do. Please
go
do.
ahead, show them off, explain them.
Just know though, you have to go downstairs to when you get to the restaurant. We'll talk before that. And I'm hoping for a full house, about 20 to 30 people, but I can't guarantee that. So just know that I don't want you to be disappointed if we don't get a ton of people. I don't want you to bring like a ton of stuff and be like, well, what the heck? But you're easygoing. I'm easygoing. We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
Johnny, anything else that were you calling in to give your answer about question of the week, or did you have something else on your mind?
I was just calling in to give the answer of the week. I don't want to listen to myself talk too much here.
Well,
don't want to take over the radio show for you guys. But,
we don't want to do a vote whether people would rather hear you than me, because I don't think I'd like to hear the answer to that myself. Okay. Well, Johnny, first of all, thank you very much. Do you want to give people any information about how they can see more of what you're doing up until to get yourself ready for March 4th?
As good as I am at working on gear, I am the exact opposite when it comes to any kind of media.
Yeah, no.
So there's not a lot of places you can find me. Johnny Vortex on Facebook, Vortex Paranormal. I'm on X and Instagram and stuff. The YouTube channel's pretty bare, but give that a subscribe for the hope of future content.
Perfect.
Otherwise, it's just lurking around comment sections and live chats.
That's fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Johnny Vortex. Johnny, thank you so very much for calling in tonight.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. You
too. Thank you very much. Folks, the one and only Johnny Vortex. He's going to be at Ghost Stories and Beyond March 4th. And as you can hear, you're just going to love him. You're just going to love it. And when I said on last Wednesday, after the Pets in the Afterlife, I said that we're going to have Johnny join us. And a couple people are like really excited. They know who Johnny is. And Adam, I just think it's funny. Is like, can you tell us how to get a hold of you? I don't have a lot of places. And he names like 5. So,
And, as for his equipment, as clumsy as I am, if he brings a bunch of the VIPs down, he can just toss them down the steps and they'll be fine. Nothing will happen.
No, nothing will happen. And they worked for you on Halloween.
Yes, they did. I can solemnly swear that the VIP worked well too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what a nice treat having Johnny call in. I really enjoy him. He's a nice guy. King Sisters Paranormal says Johnny is the real deal. And you cannot just say Johnny Vortex. You got to go Johnny Vortex. That's the only way that you can possibly say the name. Now, what is your favorite part of a paranormal investigation? Any part? What do you love? And I got a couple answers in the comments here as we move. And we're going to be focusing on this for the rest of the show until someone else wants to do something else. Jeremy says, I think my favorite part is exploring the old buildings and checking things out. Plus, I like sitting with the owners and managers and hearing their stories. That's a lot of fun. That's a great deal of fun. I would agree. I love hearing the stories also. Here's the thing, Adam. I like hearing the stories, and no offense to anyone. Please do not take offense. I like hearing the stories from people who are not entrenched in the paranormal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the ones from the people who just work there, managers, owners, or whatnot. It's like, and especially the ones that spend the most time there.
Yeah,
because especially with those folks, it's like they'll be like, all right, it never fails around this time every night. This happens, or the third Wednesday of every month. It seems like this happens, and you can start noticing a little bit of a pattern. Absolutely. And then, there are the people who are there all the time. It's like the one time this happened, it's never happened again. But then again, you do have, like you said, the people who are entrenched in the paranormal, and, Mark Twain stayed a night here. So he's the one haunting this building.
Yeah. Yeah. And please, folks, that if you're an investigator, please know that that's not a blanket statement for everybody, but you all know too what I'm talking about. and you know what Adam's talking about here. We've all run into them, and it's just it's it's more of the just kind of like paranormal television. I used to really like shows like My Ghost Story on Biography Channel. Those to me are great before the big boom came, and now the shows themselves, personally, I'm not a big fan of them as well. Question of the week: what is your favorite part of a paranormal investigation? Any part. What do you love? Jennifer says, I've never been on an actual investigation, but I've watched quite a few on various TV shows. For me, it would be either getting confirmation of factual evidence of some sort, or else having that shocking wow moment unexpectedly. I mean, there is stuff, and it's, I mean, your mileage will vary, but we've had a great deal of great things happen. We've had some mundane investigations, all that stuff, and is all that's there. And I've watched quite a few on various TV shows. Jennifer, as long as you know that that's really all entertainment, and that that's just not quite how it goes. And that's fine. Jennifer, if you are in the Twin Cities area, of course, you can come out to Anoka next week and you can have your first paranormal investigation. Hint, hint. So we got that going for you. Let's see here. Adam, what about you?
My favorite is afterwards going over video and audio. One, I'm nerdy, and two, there's a lot less stuff to trip over in the dark when you're doing review.
I just think about when we did one of the Anoka investigations, and David and Alicia Leonard were there, who are big paranormal investigators. And when I say big, I mean like they go all over the place. They're really entrenched into the community and stuff. And they set up their stuff, and I walked over to set up one of my things, and I kicked one of his lights, and it became like a football. And it's just like, well, it looks like I just bought you a new light. And he's just like, no, it's fine. They're pretty durable. They're not Johnny Vortex durable, by the way, but they're durable. And it's like, no, it did survive with me just like, kicking. I that thing was airborne. I didn't even see it. I just like walking and like, boom. Oh, sorry. So Kimberly says, going over the evidence is tedious. It's my least favorite part, but necessary. And I was just going to say, Adam, when you just said that, you're probably going to get like 100 paranormal teams reaching out to you and being like, well, if you like doing this, I got a job for you.
You know what? And honestly, I think that would be kind of neat, especially if I know nothing about the location.
Well, just be careful what you're saying there, buddy, because
but when I investigate,
but
when I do investigate, I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know anything going in. So if anything happens, not only is it a surprise to me, but then I'm not, claiming all of a sudden, the air system making a bump. Oh no, it must be, the ghost that runs around in the basement or whatever. That's why I like knowing zilch when I go into a place.
Nope, I totally get it. And I would think a lot of people would agree with you on that. And that's the problem, right, Kimberly, is that if you could have, the more tech you have, the more stuff you have to review. So people are like, I have, 8 cameras set up, and that's nowadays that's probably very little. But if you ran if you ran all 8 cameras for just say even 2 hours, that's gonna still be 8 cameras, 2 hours. That's 16 hours that you need to go through, and that's just like, you got to take breaks. You have to know when to take breaks because your mind just starts to wander automatically. You don't even know it's wandering, and you're going through and you're just like, so, that's the stuff. And that's where people are like, yeah, we love having all this equipment. Yeah, you do. But you gotta go through it all if you're going to do it right. So,
well, and even going over the audio stuff from in here and the Spotify recording and the YouTube recording of the Halloween live, that took me 3 days.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's a 4-hour chunk, a 4-hour chunk, a 4-hour chunk.
Yep, absolutely. 100%. And, but I'm glad that you are still, even after that, you're still like, yeah, I like doing it. So good on you.
I'm a masochist, I think. I do like doing it. I like that. I think the best part is the just silence, question, silence, silence, and then that voice out of nowhere that answers that question.
And
I think that's why I dig it.
And you and I have talked about this before, the energy rush that you get when you get that voice that you weren't expecting, and you listen back and it's suddenly like, it is very clear. You cannot find a way for it to be someone else or contaminated. And it's also intelligent. Those are things where suddenly it's just like, now I can go through the rest of this, 6 hours of audio, because that alone,
I can
has
now
energized me.
justify the 3 hours I've spent listening to nothing because I found this one 3-second clip. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and do this? First of all, the question of the week, once again, is what is your favorite part of paranormal investigation? Any part? What do you love? You can put it in the comments. We got a ton to read as well. Get through as many as we can. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to be right back. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refinedivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakken here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are. But now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information. Greg Bakken here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
And it is Casual Friday here in GhostBox Radio. Thank you very much for spending time with us on your Friday as we ease into the weekend. I just want to also say, join us Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken. I'm going to have on author Deborah Blake, and we're going to be talking about her book, The Little Book of Cat Magic, Spells, Charms, and Tales. And I'm going to be honest, we pre-recorded it this morning, and it is a great conversation. I put it up on my Patreon, first of all, and as an early release for those who wanted to hear it. And I got a lot of really strong feedback about it. You know, they really liked it. They really liked Deborah, but the book itself is something very special. So please listen on Monday. It's going to be great. On Tuesday, we're going to have on Ernie Pack, and Ernie's going to be talking to us about, the places that him and his wife Denise either own or watch over. That'd be the Ditto House Inn, as well as Fort Duffield. There's always great stuff to talk about there. So Join us next week. It's going to be a lot of great stuff. And also just reminder for folks, please consider joining my Patreon because we do early releases. We do them often. Last month we did about 3 of them, as well as special episodes. And it's great, and it truly does help GhostBox Radio out. So please consider doing so. Patreon.com/GhostBox Radio starts as low as $3 a month, and it really does help the show. So hate to try to sound like I'm begging, but just please check it out. We'd really appreciate it.
That's why I keep saying we need to put Sarah McLachlan under you when you're talking about your Patreon.
I wouldn't mind Sarah McLachlan under me, but
the ASPCA song.
Oh,
the arms of
you gotta be clearer when you talk about that kind of stuff. Okay, just
well, she's the only artist who doesn't sing anything happy. So the Cure's
in the arms of an angel.
Songs than Sarah McLachlan does. Okay, Morrissey is happier than Sarah McLachlan.
So Chuck in the comments says 12 hours of Greg on a loop. What's not to love? I can think of probably 100 things. Didn't I get drunk and angry during that too? No, I don't.
No, not at that one.
You're not a ghost. Just to get really combative, and they're like, we never said we were. So some people are at the Pillsbury Club just trying to enjoy their night. You're no ghost. So yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, thank you for that, Chuck. Appreciate it very much. Let's see here. Where were we here? Question of the week, and that is, what is your favorite part of a paranormal investigation? Any part? What do you love? Lots of answers tonight. We'll start with, and they're still coming in. I'm noticing they're still coming in. Kimberly says, capturing evidence on more than one device that backs up experiences that people have or matches the history. I think that's really good. And I like the idea too of capturing on more than one device. That whole thing about getting validation. And I mean, I don't know if that's even validation per se, as like it's really happening, especially like an EVP. You ever had it where you get an EVP on like 2 devices? A lot of times you get them on one. Sometimes you get answers on, if you have 2 recorders out there, each one on a different one. That's all a lot of fun. I really like that a lot. Lauren says helping clients and spirits find solutions and peace. So that's also and she's a medium. So I mean, all that makes a lot of sense as well. It's so interesting because I know a lot of these people, so I know what their strengths are, and so you can, and the way that they answer plays to their strengths, like your answer played to your strength. Of you're kind of a tech guy, kind of. And let's see, Jill says getting accurate, direct responses to questions. That is a lot of fun. Debbie Romero, who's been on the program many times, says feeling the power of their presence, and when the team gathers the same data with the equipment. And that's always been something I love, is having a medium pick up on stuff, tell us this, and it shows up like on the spirit box, or like an EVP comes through to validate that. And it's not because I don't believe what, like, say, a Debbie or Shar or Deb would say. It's more of just that they can also know, because I one thing I always get from mediums is like, I don't know if I'm making this stuff up in my head. You know what I mean? There's always self-doubt to it, and it's nice for them, I think, to get that once in a while. Jeremy in the comments says, I once had a 6-hour conversation with Greg. We did online, and there might have been some booze involved on my end for that one. Let's see here. Anne says, I live with mine, so I have never actually gone on an investigation outside of my home, but I really enjoy when they use my indoor wind chimes to interact with me. We also make really cool plates together. What I don't like is watching people doing investigations and being in a rush, going from room to room like they're in a race to make sure they see every square inch of the space of finding a nice spot to chill and wait to be recognized and interacted with them. A lot of times, these investigations seem very disrespectful when the investigators show up, set up, and then demanding of spirits' attention just to get a few pics and audio files for the internet. Yeah, that's gross AF. And I can't help but I agree with all that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I think the people that we hang with, and I think a lot of the people that I see in the comments who I've never investigated with, but I know, I think they would all agree with that as well. And they're all keen investigators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have Carrie, who looks like Johnny Zaffis. He says capturing evidence simultaneously on multiple different devices in real time while an event is happening on XLS camera, static charge measurement device, EVP, and people in the same space experiencing this happening together. And that's the thing that Carrie always does, is he sets up an XLS, excuse me. And the stuff that he has captured is truly wonderful, really, really good. Bruce says evidence experienced and or supported by multiple tools simultaneously, such as Ovilus and K2, GhostBox and Melmeter, or EVP and REMPod. So nope, absolutely. That's always fun too. And I kind of look at that as what we talked about with the EVP, Adam, where you're getting something and it's like it energizes you.
Oh,
It really
absolutely.
does.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did over at the last Divine Lights investigation in Anoka was we set up 2 REM pods, and I had made mine go off. One was next to me. I made mine go off, and I asked Spirit, "Can you please set yours off now, just the way I did?" And it did. And those are things that are really, I love that stuff. I love that kind of thing very much. Let's see here. Search for spirits. Russ says assisting the spirits in resolution and reconciliation. Crossing over is one of my favorite things too. Let's see here. Stephen LaChance, who is a very amazing paranormal author. He's been on the program. We interviewed him during Pride. He said, "I've been doing this for a long time, 25 years now. What sticks with me the most has always been helping people who are dealing with things in their lives they cannot explain. Seeing the shoulders relax when they realize I'm here to help, not judge. No gadgets, no theatrics, just listening, helping them feel grounded again. That has always been the best part for me. I've investigated and researched around the world, and I've helped a lot of families along the way. Helping people find stability and peace again is what matters most." I love him. I really do. I just always love what he has to say, and we need to get him back on the show again for sure. Freddie Richards says hanging out with Greg. That's his favorite part of a paranormal investigation. Who am I to argue?
Well, there are a lot of Gregs out there. He didn't. Oh,
that's fair. That's fair, actually. That and it hurts. Fair, accurate, and it hurts. Let's see. Brandy says I live with them, so when I can actually see them, it's awesome. Feeling them. Well, I know. Feeling them, smelling them. Okay, there's just a comma. That's not. It's a long night. Feeling them, smelling them, even being able to communicate with them. It's all amazing. Yes, it is. Let's see.
Phantom smells are probably some of the coolest things.
It really is. It really is. And you start after a while associating certain odors, scents. I think that's a better term for it, with certain spirits. Someone else says, "I like it when." What's that?
Go ahead. I was getting ready to say, do you think that you continue to have that same scent come around when you kind of know who it is, and instead of just like constantly guessing?
I think in my case, one in particular is my dad. When he passed, and I went to my work to pick up my equipment or my laptop. It was at 4 a.m. because I knew I wasn't going to be around after because of his funeral coming up and stuff. And there was a scent that hit me when I got out of the car, and it stayed with me up until the funeral. And then it dissipated, but it comes back every once in a while, certainly on investigations. And I do believe I've taken that as being him, actually. Right. Let's see. Someone else said, I like it when people don't use AI images and use actual images that they have found in the field. We like that too.
Ooh, and I think we lost Greg. Apparently AI didn't like the fact that we also do not like AI images out there You with us again?
Am I back? Because I
think
see
you're back.
all
If
my
you went to
stuff
the
is
time
going
warp.
down. Yeah, all my stuff is going down, and it's like, well, I guess my part of the show is over. That's Spirit being like, you're boring us. You're boring us.
Spirit doesn't like you talking smack about AI either, apparently.
Apparently not. I mean, it doesn't really. It's like, okay, I guess there is such a thing as them listening in. We don't have a lot of time left, so I'm going to quickly go through a couple more. This is on Pac-Man Paranormal page. Mark says the anticipation of the hunt and then setting up and getting underway. You never know what the night will bring. Lori says, love doing a walkthrough and see what I pick up, learning the history about the location. Brian says, getting the opportunity to use your own senses, listening in the quiet to see if you can pick up anything. Christina says, the possibility of discovering answers for the property owners that might not have had before. Also, the validation of information from the evidence, very Johnny Vortex-like. Rich says, I love getting direct responses on the portal to ask questions. Also, I love hearing EVPs captured when no one else is actively investigating. Some of the more interesting ones seem to happen when we ignore them. That is absolutely the case. And then skipping around, and I'm sorry I'm not getting to everybody tonight. Bobby J. Gallo says, when the paranormal phenomena are captured on media, it can be easy to miss it or experience issues like dying batteries. Yet when you finally obtain that recording, it becomes a treasure. There you go. I mean, we didn't get to everybody tonight. I do apologize, but boy, I love this. This was great to hear what everyone thought. And boy, people, we're all on the same page, and it's really fun to see where everyone's going. What do you think, Adam, before we head out?
I think this is a question we can revive.
Absolutely.
And get everybody else's answers. This was a good one.
Absolutely. We'll be back Monday with Deborah Blake talking about a little book of cat magic. Everyone, have a fantastic weekend.
Your Need to Know News headquarters, the Tom Hartman Program, AM